There seems to be this prevailing thought, at least among Leaf fans, and maybe it's just wishful thinking, that if and when Marner doesn't work out, Gardiner's sitting around waiting for that to happen. Is there any truth to that?
The one thing that is, Jake Gardiner loves Toronto, and I know the organization really likes him. They like him a lot. The thing that I wonder about for Gardiner is, if he is looking to increase his value, is he going to do it in Toronto? He's not going to get as much power play time. They're going to have Riley and Barry. He's probably going to be a third pairing defenseman. If he's staying in Toronto, it is because he really wants to be there. I've heard Arizona. I've heard both Montreal and Winnipeg. I've heard Buffalo, if they move, maybe Ristolainen out. Somebody said they heard rumors about potentially Carolina, depending on what the Hurricanes might still yet do. I think there is interest in him. I think he's being picky, which is fine. That's certainly his prerogative. He wants to go where he wants to go. And I know that there's talk that I just don't see, aside from he really wants to play there, I don't see how it benefits his marketability if he comes back to Toronto, because there won't be the opportunities to play as much as he's played in the past.
You threw out Winnipeg there, Friedge, and not to focus on it, but we all know their cap situation, and they have some high-profile guys in Kyle Connor and Laine. Generally, what do you make of what's happening in Winnipeg, and how would Gardiner potentially even fit into that?
Well, I think Winnipeg lost, and they were more right side guys, but they lost from their blue line. They had some key pieces. And Myers is no longer there. Trouba's no longer there. Sherratt's no longer there. I think their blue line got kind of racked a bit, and I could see them potentially being interested in something like that. I think it's been a really tough and tense summer in Winnipeg. I don't think it's been easy for them as they try to navigate this. And, somebody made a really interesting point to me. You don't see a lot of teams spending a ton of their salary on wingers anymore. And now you're Winnipeg, and Wheeler's making a good buck, and Laine and Connor will too when this all gets done. And they think Winnipeg's a really interesting test case for maybe coming at this a different way because of how they're going to have to pay some of the guys on their team. I'm curious about it too. Look, I think a lot of people believe Point is the first RFA to go. I think we're all wondering when or if Marner goes, does that open the floodgates? And I guess we just have to wait it out, guys. There's no hurry for anyone to do this now. There's no deadline.
Is that why Thomas Chabot might wait, or do you think that the Ottawa Senators want to get out in front of this one? And
that's a different situation. Chabot, he's still under contract for another year. I thought Ottawa did a really nice job to get Colin White under contract. I think it's a good contract for White and a good contract for the Senators. Somebody made a joke when I sent that out. I thought RFAs don't sign anymore. So it sounds to me like Ottawa's trying to be aggressive. The thing about a guy like Chabot is he's a high-scoring defenseman, and those guys really get paid in this league. And, if you're Chabot, you have the ability to wait. And I have no doubt Ottawa's trying to get it done, and I have no doubt they're being aggressive in trying to get it done. But it's one of those situations where you're probably looking at a very high number, because the numbers you just showed, they're going to be there for a while, that 55.